shouldn't be going out, shouldn't be Ubering, but whatever.
Welcome everybody. I'm Brenda Gray, DC. I'm going to talk to you today about the emotional subluxation and the acceptance process. Now, lucky for you, you've got a nerdy chiropractor here. So we're going to start with just a brief history of chiropractic. I went to the Palmer College of Chiropractic in Davenport, Iowa, which was started by this guy with the kooky beard. His name's D.D. Palmer. He's Canadian like myself. He is the founder of chiropractic. In 1895, he delivered the first adjustment to Harvey Lillard, who was a janitor who had been deaf for 17 years after an accident to his back. So he went ahead and adjusted it. Boom, his hearing started to come back. So he was like, man, that's pretty cool. We should figure out what we're doing here. 2 years later, he opened the Palmer School of Chiropractic in Davenport, Iowa, and the rest is history. Now in 1910, he wrote a really cool book, Chiropractor's Adjuster, and one of my favorite things that came out of this was this quote, "Life is an expression of tone. The cause of dis-ease is any variation in tone." Chiropractic wasn't founded necessarily on, oh wow, my muscle hurts. It was founded on, what's your whole body looking like? Where's the tone different? Is there something we need to work on? So I think that was pretty cool. Now his son BJ Palmer took the profession and developed it further. He's known as the developer of chiropractic. And he was a little eccentric, he was a pretty crazy guy. He collected a whole bunch of really cool things, so if you're ever in Davenport, Iowa for any reason, I highly recommend checking out the Palmer Mansion. It's super cool. He also wrote a bazillion books, but one of my favorites that someone put together for him was called the Chiropractic Textbook. So he had in there that subluxation are caused by thoughts, traumas, and toxins, which is what we've been talking about on some of my TikTok videos. And basically, he developed chiropractic into something more spiritual because spiritualism was sweeping the nation at the time that it was being developed. So they weren't just looking at you, a singular person in the physical sense. They were looking at you as a whole. Physical, spiritual, mental, emotional. How can you grow as that whole person? So we've got some chiropractic philosophy to kind of go along with that idea. We have this concept of universal intelligence, and there's this piece of it inside of you that keeps you alive that we call innate intelligence. And basically, we have this concept that the power that made the body heals the body. So when you have something going wrong in your spine, you can see in this little diagram here, let's say you have something wrong in your neck. It can affect not only your neck, but your diaphragm, your shoulder, everything down to your fingertips. So when you have that kind of problem, come to the chiropractor, see what we can do for you. So that way we can unleash the innate intelligence in your body to flow, so that you can heal from the inside out. Basically, we have these misalignments in the spine that we call subluxations, which is what causes interference to the messages that innate intelligence sends. So that's what we're working with here, and today we're more specifically talking about the emotional subluxation. So once again, you in the audience there, what are subluxations caused by?
Thoughts, trauma, and toxin.
Yeah, you got it. So we have this picture here. These are the top two bones in your neck, and these are nerves that go with your sympathetic nervous system. So the sympathetic nervous system is the thing that regulates fight or flight response. In my undergrad though, we had this funny professor who said there were 3 F's. The fight and flight that we all heard of, but also fornicate. And then when I went to chiropractic school, there were still 3 F's, but the third one was different. So we still had fight or flight, but the other one was freeze. So really, when you think about it, when you're stressed out, you're ready to fight. You're ready to flight. You freeze like a deer in headlights, or you just want a whole heck of a lot of sex. So this is kind of where that's regulated, and why sometimes when your upper neck is adjusted, you feel a whole lot better, feel calmer, ready to sleep. So I want you to close your eyes for a second. put your hands over your heart. And I want you to think of the happiest moment in your life. How do you feel mentally? How do you feel physically? Now try and go back to a neutral spot in your mind. Now think about the saddest thing in your life. How does that change the feelings in your body? Now I want you to remember that happiest moment and the saddest moment at once. What does it feel like? Do you feel happy? Do you feel sad? Can you feel both at the same time? Are there muscles that are tense? Muscles that are loose? You can open your eyes. You in the audience, what did you experience going through that?
I experience heaviness throughout my shoulders and chest.
Was that when you were feeling sad or when you were feeling happy, or with both?
A little bit of both, more of when I'm happy.
Okay. Cool. So this is just one.
Meant to say that the opposite.
So when you were thinking the sad stuff.
Yes, heaviness.
Heaviness with the sad. Did it come off your shoulders when you were happy?
Yes.
Okay. So this is just one example of how your emotions can affect your anatomy, right? When we're sad, despondent, we have that heaviness on our shoulder. We creep forward. We just kind of lose that life feeling. When we're happy, it's like, hey, what's up, bro? You're happy. So this can affect the tone in your spine. So I learned about this concept of tonal chiropractic from this guy in the middle here, Dr. Marvin Tulski. He gave me words to the things I could see. I could see auras around people. And I always thought that was a bad thing. But then when this guy was like, oh no, here are words to explain all of that, it was like, well, that's really cool. So his concept of adjusting is different. We're very much used to that adjustment where it's like powering through the body to move the bone. Here, he was focusing on the bone, but also the soft tissue around the bone. Gently pressing on it, allowing you to breathe into it, fill up that space, allowing your body to feel what you were keeping inside, and breathing it out, moving it, letting it express itself. And I thought that was pretty darn cool. So I tried to bring that into my adjusting. Now, just for fun, can you find me in the background there?
Yes.
Yeah, see how crazy long my hair was? Man. So I try to bring that concept into when I'm doing an adjustment, even if I'm doing something, you know, the regular old supine diversified, where we take your head, get you to tension, send the bone. I'm trying to feel what you're feeling emotionally too. And we have this concept about adjustments happening in the right place, at the right time, in the right direction, with the right intention. So when I have you focusing on releasing, relaxing, expressing, when I have the focus on move the bone, allow this person to heal in whatever way they need, the adjustment is way more powerful. Thoughts on that?
So mind-blowing.
All right, we're just gonna keep on going through. So we have these emotions, they can get stuck in our spine. That's why we have tonal chiropractic, but sometimes you need a little bit more. So my good buddy, Dr. Slater Murphy, and I were working on the acceptance process integrated. And we've got 3 different strategies we'll be discussing today to help release some of those trapped things in your body. So number 1 is the awareness of the truth. Are you aware of what's going on inside of you?
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. We have that innate intelligence controlling things like food moving through our digestive tract, so we don't have to think about that. But when you stop and think about it, are you thinking about it and feeling it? Can you feel where the food is in your colon then? Are you aware of what's going on beyond you though? Or in the environment, in the universe, energetically speaking?
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes yes, sometimes no. It's all about where you are. Do you know what you are a part of?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you know you're a part of the universe?
Yes.
So that piece of the universe inside of you, the innate intelligence that heals your body. Sometimes people don't like that. Sometimes you want to say it's your soul and it comes from God. Sometimes you want to say you're one with the stars, you have stardust inside of you. Whatever concept you need, I don't really care. But you do have something greater inside of you. You are part of something grand. You are part of something with infinite potential. So how are we going to unlock that for you? We start with awareness. Is that a little bit scary? A little bit hard to comprehend?
No, so far.
No? All right. So I'm calling you to be more. But to be more, you need to know that you have the ability to be whole. You have the power to accept. You are able to integrate. You are able to be well. And you have to challenge yourself to transcend and heal. Let's talk about integration for a second. Let's talk about how adaptable you are. It's amazing you're even here. Think about it. Have you ever broken a bone?
No.
Oh, wow. Okay. Do you know someone who's broken a bone?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, let's go with that one. So, you also know me. I broke a bone. When I was in grade 4, I had a bicycle riding accident. I broke a bone in this arm. I know there's only 2. I was in grade 4. I didn't care which one it was. So whichever bone was broken. So what happens when you break your arm? They put you in a cast. My bone break was all the way through the bone. So what my cells were doing, without me thinking about it, where there were cells clearing out some of the broken, damaged bone, there were cells putting in new, fresh bone, but they started in the center of the bone and spread itself out. So it's once again healing from the inside out. And think about it. If we didn't have that cast on, the muscles would have been moving that bone all around, which is why we see clavicular fractures that don't necessarily heal well, because how do you stabilize your shoulder? You don't, it goes all over the place. But luckily for my arm, it was in a cast. My muscles atrophied. Don't remember if I had it on for 4 or 6 weeks, but when it came out, I could look at my forearms and I was a little freaked out. This one was a lot thinner, even with just like, let's say, a month of disuse. My muscles were weaker. The bone that's being laid down is weaker. So it was really cool going through the process of Wolff's Law. We learned about it in school. You build more bone, your bone gets stronger based on where, that force is coming from. So as my muscles started to put more pressure on the bone as they were coming back, the bone got stronger too. And I obviously haven't had a problem since. So you're adaptable in the physical sense, but you're adaptable in the mental sense too. You have the ability to adapt to any situation with ease and with grace. Because you are resilient. You've been through an uncountable number of traumas. Not just the physical ones, spiritual, mental, emotional. And yet here you are, giving me your time on a Saturday, looking to learn something, to be free. Because deep inside, you know there's something calling you to be more than you are in this moment. Life isn't a straight line of growth. It It goes wibbly wobbly, back and forth, up and down. It goes in all sorts of directions. But you're here right now on the upside. You've overcome so many challenges. They've given you knowledge, wisdom, strength, and sometimes they leave you with some scars. You've gone through battles. What happens for a lot of people is they keep reliving those battles and they stay in that sympathetic fight, flight, freeze, fornicate response. They don't come down off of it. So you can hold those battles to your heart, play the victim, stay there, or you can be like, okay, why am I holding on to this? There's a lesson you need to learn from it. So feel what you need to feel, learn what you need to learn, but then there's the process of letting it go. Because otherwise it gets stored in your spine and you have back pain, you have torsion, you have this change in tone, and you can't live your best life that way. You need to include all of you to transcend, to heal and grow. You need to know your truth. You need to not linger on those experiences. You deserve all of the experiences life has to offer. You deserve to experience what it means to be whole. Are you aware of the truth? Are you aware of the power inside of you? Are you ready to grow? Yeah, you are. I like that enthusiastic nod. So let's talk about growth for a second. When we learn any new skill, we go through these 4 stages. So we're going to start in this box here, unconscious incompetence. This is the spot where you don't know what you don't know. You're a fresh, brand new baby. You're crying because you have things, you have needs and wants, and you don't know what they are. You're a chiropractic student, ready to go move a bone, but you don't even know how to find it. How do you feel through the skin and the muscle and the fat in people? Ugh. You're starting a new job, totally brand new to you. You don't know what you need to do sometimes. So we go through all these bumps. We shift from unconscious incompetence to conscious incompetence. All right, I know I need to at least start with finding the bone in chiropractic school. So I'm gonna work on those exercises to feel the bone through the skin, through the muscle, through the fat. You're a baby, you start to grow up, things start to get stored in your head, you wanna learn to walk. How can I do more with the people in my life? I learned to walk. That thing at work, someone probably told you what you needed to learn. Let's be real, that's okay too. All of these different things are going to get you to conscious competence with practice. You know how to do the thing, but you still have to think about it. This is when you're going through clinic in school where it's like, okay, I can feel the bone, I can move the bone, and I have to think really hard about what direction am I going. This is the baby who's like, I can walk, but I need help. This is, okay, I can do this at work, but I have to think really hard about it. Man, I'm tired after work. But you go through all of this. You practice, you learn, you grow. They say it takes, a month to build a habit. It takes a lifetime. But eventually you can get to a point of unconscious competence. You can do the things, you don't have to think about it, and it's easy to stay the course. So we want to make sure our unconscious competence is with things that benefit us on our journey of wholeness. Are you able to easily choose foods that are good for you? So let's say, even for me, for my food choices, I have conscious competence, I have unconscious competence. I was talking with my girlfriend last night, and earlier in the day, I talked with someone about Coca-Cola, how you use it to clean things, like dirty pennies, grease stains off of work shirts, like all sorts of crazy things, right? And then my girlfriend asks if I want to go out for a root beer float. And I'm like, no, root beer's the same thing, but man, it sounds good. But no, I shouldn't do that. The ice cream part, I'm totally down for. Never gonna have a six-pack because I choose ice cream. But it was hard. I had conscious knowledge of, no, I shouldn't do this. It wasn't unconscious to just say, no root beer. And it's tricky. And that's okay, because once again, nothing is a straight line. It's wibbly wobbly, up and down, back and forth. And that's okay. But give yourself some credit for all of the skills that you have. Yeah, pat your back. Claim that power. You're freaking amazing. Think of everything you can do. But find yourself. Where are you right now? Yeah, what do you need to do to grow? So know that you have grown emotionally. Where are you at right now with your emotions? Are you sad and disappointed? Are you happy and content? Because you as a whole human should be experiencing the whole spectrum of that and in between. You need to have the highs or the lows to really appreciate the highs. If you have highs with very few lows, you're gonna feel like it's crazy every time you hit that low point. And if you're in one end all of the time, you get tired. You get tired of having the high, you get tired of having the low. Being in the middle is important. Now, I don't want you to think homeostasis, balance. Balance doesn't help you grow as a person. I want you to challenge yourself. Give yourself time to relax, unwind, but challenge yourself again. Okay, maybe I need a break. Okay, let's do it again, right? It's not just with skills, it's with your emotions too. You'll more fully appreciate life if you can do that. And taking those breaks, those weekends of chillaxify. That was the word that went around our elementary school. But you can have that chillaxing moment and let everything unwind, let everything settle, take that time to recoup. I know that's hard to do in our society. That's why we have scars on our heart that aren't healed yet. Because we're never allowed to take that time. So it's my challenge to you. Find time to do that. And you've grown physically. You're a grown man out there.
We.
Yeah. Are you underweight or overweight? Does it matter? Those standards? What's normal for your body? What's healthy for your body? Because if I took my BMI right now, I'm overweight. Yeah.
Same.
I mean, a BMI can tell us some things, but not everything. I care about what you're ingesting in your body and how you're moving your body. So are you choosing healthy food choices? Or are you choosing the deep fried things all of the time? Are you choosing to drink water? Or are you choosing to drink some sort of soda pop? Now, being in the Midwest, I can never remember if I'm supposed to say soda or pop. The Canadian side of me just wants to say pop, so that's why I'm gonna say soda pop. Covers both. So, where are you at? Do you need help making healthier food choices? What steps are you gonna take to get there? And then let's talk about movement. I made, that TikTok video 2 weeks ago because a patient had commented on my strong legs. How'd I get them? I incorporate squats into my life. I'm brushing my teeth, I'm taking a squat and brushing my teeth. I go to the washroom and I squat. Waiting at the bus stop, I do calf raises. It's about incorporating movement into your life that works for your body. So for me, I have an undiagnosed connective tissue disorder. I can do all of the things on that test. I can hyperextend my elbow. I can have my knees go backwards. I can clap the soles of my feet together with straight legs. The only thing I can't do is bring my thumb to my forearms because I've torn ligaments in both of my wrists. Yeah. So for me, that means, yes, Can I do a CrossFit workout? Heck yeah, I can. I'm stubborn as anything. Should I? Heck no, that's not what's made for my body. The slow, longer, controlled workouts are way better for my body type. That's why running doesn't work for me. So do you know your body type? Do you know what workouts do and don't work for you? Former kinesiology student, former personal trainer, I'm always here to help with that if you need it. I'm here to help you make better food choices if you need it. I will also refer you to a dietitian if we need to do that too. So are you meeting your physical goals? With food, with movement, with body image? If not, what action steps are you going to take? That's also why I gave you paper, so you can think about these later. And I know it sucks, but SMART goals work. We're not going to go over those, that's a whole other presentation though. And you've grown mentally. One of my favorite mental components is the arousal curve. You can have low arousal, you can have high arousal, and you have performance on the other axis. And it's a parabola, it's a U-shaped curve. So you're tired all the time, you're exhausted at work, you're not doing your job very well. If you're on the other side, oh, I'm stressed out, I don't know what to do, you're panicking, you're not doing your best work. When you're somewhere in the middle, boom, optimal. How are you getting there? Where are you at on that spectrum? What are your triggers? Are you tired because you didn't drink caffeine, or you stayed up too late, or you're an alcoholic? Are you on this end because you don't have stress management coping mechanisms? What do you need to do so that you can perform optimally? Because it's not just work, it's family life and everything too. And sometimes trauma can impede your growth mentally too. For me, I was stroked a lot growing up, so when we got to our cervicals class, our neck adjusting class at school, I couldn't actually participate super well in that. If I did not perform well throughout the day because I was on that high stress end of things. I felt myself being choked, my grades went down, and so I talked to someone about it. And what our school had were surrogates. So another student would take my place in that part of the lecture, so my neck would not be touched. And my grades went back up like they should be. I performed better at school, I performed better in that class, and things went back to normal. But it was hard because I felt like I was a burden on that student taking my place. I felt like I was a burden on my partner in class, on the teacher in class, on the person who was organizing the schedule. I felt like a crazy burden. And that got stored in my spine for a long time until someone told me, hey, you're being overly conscientious. I appreciate your concern, but it's okay. You're allowed to ask for help. It's okay to need help. And I feel like we don't hear that enough. Do you have the help you need right now so that you can be in the middle of that curve? If not, what do you need to do about it? I don't have the answer for you necessarily. Sometimes you need therapy, but it's just things to get you thinking. And you've grown spiritually. Whether it's the innate intelligence in your body, the soul in your body, the stardust twinkling all inside of your body, you have what I'll call a spirit. It requires nourishment, just like the rest of you. We've had spiritual practices as humans since way back when in hunter-gathering times. So do you have spiritual practices, whether it's religious or not, to get you where you need to be spiritually? This could also be a whole nother lecture. We won't go over all of it today, but do you have your mindfulness practice? Do you know what truly nourishes your spirit? If not, we're happy to chat after with you. But you're the only one who can really answer what nourishes your spirit. So do you see where you've grown? Do you see where you need to grow? And are you ready to accept love? And do you know what your goals are? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yeah, all right. Audience participation makes things more fun. So let's talk about love for a second. Are you ready to accept that love? First step is loving yourself. You've journeyed into the depths of your heart. Hopefully I've made you think about yourself in a new way with this talk. And you've made it through some really, really tough spots. There's nothing really holding you back from accepting all of the love that you deserve except for yourself. So you need to love yourself first. Do you love the good and the bad in you? Do you love the pretty and the ugly parts of you? Do you love the scars on your heart? Because if you don't, when you have someone in your life that you're sharing them with, they can, rub their hand and feel that scar. And acknowledge it or reject it. If you have love of yourself and of that event that scarred your heart, it doesn't matter what they do because you love yourself. Or do you have scars on your heart that are openly weeping? Is there something still troubling you about something or something more recent that happened? And know that whatever the event is, it's not necessarily a reflection of you. When you love yourself, things can heal a little easier, a little better. So do you love who you are as a whole?
Yes.
Because you should. You should be proud of who you are and all that you've accomplished. And of course, there's going to be K-pop in a Brenna presentation.
Hell yes.
Because the song is called Love Myself, and I think it helps encompass how to do so. And don't worry, we have color-coded lyrics for you. Full screen's unavailable, good to know. Why do you keep hiding inside of your mask?
Beautiful.
See, this is why I like BTS. It's about your mental health. It's about learning to love yourself and getting out of bad relationships. There's some cool stuff in the K-pop world, I promise. And I want you to be able to love yourself so that you can better love other people. Think about it. If you're in a relationship with anyone, friendship, dating, spouse, family, if you're relying on that other person to love you, you're putting a whole heck of a lot of stress on that person. You're putting a whole heck of a lot of stress on yourself. You aren't going to be able to hold your ground necessarily as well if, no, I love this person loves me, I have to be this way for them. Then you're not being true to yourself. So I think you have that potential for that unlimited universal love when you love yourself, you love the other person, but you're two whole people and you're still healing, you're still growing, but that way you know what journeys you take together and what journeys you take separately. And you need to be able to accept the love that you deserve. The universe is looking out for you. You can accept the good things that happen to you, whether it's some good luck, finding some money on the ground, that stranger holding the door open and smiling for you. Thanks, bud. Or maybe it's just your good friends who have a good ear for you to rant to, or anything like that. Or if you're spiritual and you've got your spirit guide calling to you, that's the universe loving you too. And I hope you know that you are loved. You are accepted as you are. You are whole. I love you wholeheartedly for, being here with me, going through our journeys together, giving up your time on a Saturday. What? Applause to you. But do you believe that? Do you know that? You are loved, you are worthy, you are whole. Is it difficult for you to accept that? Because if not, let's go on back. Let's talk about awareness of the truth, how fantastic you are, how you are one with the universe. You are one with that love. Let's talk about the growth. You're not just a little kid anymore. You're a grown man. Kicking butt, doing amazing things, being the amazing you. So you are worthy of the love that is being shared with you in this room right now. So know you are loved. Know you are worthy. Know you are whole. Love the journey, love the process. Most importantly, love yourself. Yeah. The acceptance process it is about, accepting yourself and integrating every part of your being so that you can be the best version of you. Not you as a piece, but one whole, fantastic human beings. Oh. So know that you are deserving of that love. You are amazing. Let go of what doesn't serve you so you can serve. Did you like this? Do you want more of it? I've got a 3-week coaching program I developed. So we're going to go over all of the things we've talked about in more detail. We've got reflection questions. You'll get a PDF copy of my crumpled up papers. And we'll do a 45-minute coaching call. We'll get you through what you need to get through. Or do you feel like you're still stuck somewhere beyond this? Dr. Slater Murphy developed the Liberation Experience. He's given me permission to use it to help you guys. It's basically going to look at all aspects of your life, help you set goals, help you work through what you need to work through so that we can even get to the acceptance process. Because sometimes you're not there, and that's okay too. That is a 12-week course. I'm charging $50 per week because it's a lot of work for me to do, but I'm still new to it, so it seems like a good compromise. And if you pay up front, you get a discount. You'll pay me directly. It's more of a, think of it as a donation since I'm living off of a visa. And I'm just trying to take a cute lady out. So thank you so much for coming today. This was the acceptance process integrated. And what was will be until we are free. Donations accepted here. Thank you so much.